So welcome to the podcast, Kim Gallagher. This guest is very exciting. She's not only an internationally recognized feng shui consultant, a boss lady, and a mom, and she is on this podcast to share some absolute value with us today. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad. I feel like we needed to turn this on, or we would have just did the whole podcast without even filming it. I think today, I think it's important to give you a bit of context, like where we're going to go with this, because I haven't even told you what we're going to talk about.
I like that.
Yeah. So we'll talk about you, a bit of your story, the feng shui business and how you've grown. And then also like some key tips for our listeners as well. Things they can do, feng shui their home, get some value.
Amazing. Sounds
Ready?
good. Yeah,
Let's
I
do
am
it.
ready. Let's go.
So who is Kim? Tell us about you and what you do. Because feng shui, it's pretty crazy how you and I met.
Well, you are known as the fancy lady because you turned up at our doorstep through our video camera. And my daughter said, "Mom, there's a fancy lady at our door." I was like, who are these fancy ladies coming to our house?
It was me, the fancy lady
And
in
it was
Broad Beach
you.
Waters.
And I think that for me was just meant to happen. We were meant to meet.
Yeah.
And I sort of dropped into conversation that was a feng shui consultant, and your eyes lit up, and I was like, I'm in a safe space here.
Yeah.
I can talk about this because it's, sometimes you're in a group and you say that's what you do, and people either look at you strange or they just go, "Oh, that's nice," and then they carry on with the conversation.
Like, we don't want to open that can of
Yeah,
worms.
let's not go there. She's crazy. So you can tell by my accent, I'm from England.
Yeah.
And we made the move over to Australia in June 23, so June last year. And I haven't always been a feng shui consultant, haven't always been somebody that's necessarily spiritual.
Yeah.
I was a teacher for 10 years.
You were a teacher?
I was a teacher.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
Oh
I was
my
a teacher. I taught equine science.
Whoa.
So,
what is that?
I mean, could it be any more different to being a feng shui consultant? No. So I used to teach 16 to 18-year-olds and degree students almost like horse biology. That's what I taught them. I know.
This is crazy right now. Oh my God.
And I used to work in human resources. So
Wow.
I think that sort of shows you the age difference perhaps between you and I, that I have all these careers behind me. So I taught with horses and lectures, and it was amazing. And I think what's always been in me is that I want to help people. I think that's the common denominator in all of the careers that I've done. In lockdown in the UK, it lasted a little bit of a while. And because I taught at a land-based college, unfortunately, I was made redundant over lockdown because we couldn't physically get in. They sold some of the land to keep the college afloat. And so I was at home homeschooling my daughter, who was 8 at the time. I think 8, 9, and a dog. My husband worked in construction, so he went off to work. So it was literally the three of us in the house for 2 years.
Wow.
So I started a business. Just before lockdown, I started a product-based business. Lockdown hit. All of a sudden, couldn't get out to see everybody. And I try not to swear when I explain.
You can swear on this. This is a safe space. Don't worry.
I was just like, shit. Like, what am I going to do? And so I was very aware I got very sucked into the news, into everything that was happening around the world.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm a typical empath person that I feel it.
Yeah.
And I saw something on the news and I just got sucked in. And so I started to be very aware as to actually where I got my information from. I don't want the TV on in the background the whole time. I want to start listening to podcasts and have some joy in what is a really tricky time. I just so happened to listen to a podcast of a lady who was a feng shui consultant, talking to one of my friends whose podcast it was, saying that feng shui could help her attract a partner into her life. And I thought, what a load of rubbish. I was like, how is that even possible?
We can do that, guys. We'll give you the tips at the end, so keep listening.
And I just thought, what a load of rubbish. And then afterwards, had a bit of time on my hands in lockdown. So I started Googling about feng shui. And what I realised was that a lot of hotels around the world are feng shui. So we use water fountains as a way of bringing wealth, prosperity, and abundance. So anywhere that you see a water fountain in a hotel, a shopping
Pacific
centre,
Fair, yeah.
Pac Fair, airports. Think of Singapore Airport. They've got the hugest one in the middle. Water brings a lovely cleansing energy. It's beautiful, calms emotions. So that's why you see these things around, but we don't know that it's feng shui. Then I found out that a lot of celebrities are into feng shui, and not just sort of, you know, people that have a certain following on Instagram, but really wealthy, successful business. But Oprah Winfrey, the Beckhams, all of these people, the list just goes on. Madonna, the list goes on. And I thought, well, why don't I know about this?
Yeah,
Why? It's like
okay.
this secret club of people that have this thing. And I think somebody even said, I can't afford not to do feng shui.
Wow.
That's how much of a difference it makes in my life.
Wow.
I thought, well, I've got this crazy home at the minute. Like we're homeschooling. I'm trying to run a business, and the energy is stressful. So I had my home feng shuied. Within a month, the whole energy in the house changed. I obviously couldn't change the situation of what was happening outside of the home. That was still diabolical.
Yeah.
But in the home, we were getting on. There was no arguments. I felt that feeling of support around me, almost like having a really supportive partner that is just there for you the whole time. I've got goosebumps. Like,
Oh my God.
and the right people came into my life. And feng shui works on intention, right? You've got to believe in it. And so when you're putting the remedies in your house, and I'm not somebody that's about to put a load of, you know, lucky cats in this. If you walked into our home, you would never know that it's been feng shuied. Everything is hidden. Everything is modern day. And that's almost like my superpower. I bridge this ancient practice with modern day living, and I create a calm home. That's what I do for a living. I mean, what a amazing job.
So
I'm
amazing.
so grateful. I honestly think I've got the best job in the world. So within a month of putting the remedies in, I had an email to say from the lady that did my analysis to say that she was doing her last ever certification course. Would I be interested in doing it? And I jumped at the chance. It wasn't an easy decision because it was the biggest investment I've ever made into myself ever. But I just knew that it was right.
Yeah, okay.
And I've not looked back. And I started my business only 18 months ago. So November 22. And I've helped thousands of people around the world. I've been on this morning numerous times in the UK as their feng shui expert, on the morning show here in Australia.
So good.
Just had an email this morning to say that they want me back again a couple of times.
Well done.
I'm working on some collaborations that are a bit secret at the minute.
Okay.
You know, it's so many things. And so I just work with people around the world who just want peace and calm in their home. And that's what I do.
It's so amazing, Kim. And I've like firsthand experienced it. We did a little project together once, and just the way that it's so random when you said to me, I'm going to bring weights into the house. I'm like, what do you mean weights? Like metal? You said metal. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And then, to like see how it all worked behind the scenes. It's just so interesting.
It's quite magical. And we use the 5 elements. So the craziest thing that you're going to bring into your home is metal.
Yeah.
And there's no hiding the fact. It is very random.
It's so random.
But the metal, it comes from the earth. Our whole world is built on metal. It's grounding. It holds the world together. We've built a world upon metal. So having it in your home, when you think about actually what it does, it cleanses, it grounds, and it just brings that stress level down. But we can hide it. You would never find, it's like a game of hide and seek in my house. You would never find the metal because it's all hidden under sofas, under side tables, under beds. But the difference it makes in the home is, it's quite incredible. And the stories that I have from people after feng shuiing their home, that they found their dream job, they found their partner. I run a course, though I teach people, and there was a lady in tears last night just saying how different her home feels, how she now gets on so much better with her husband.
Wow.
And so you can bring these amazing things into your home with your intentions, but the best gift is just having a peaceful home where everyone's happy.
Yeah, and that's priceless. Hey, I think like like obviously we sell or I sell houses for not the happiest reasons sometimes, and that can be really difficult to navigate. But having someone like you where you can actually come in and make that energy feel better,
Yes.
because that's ultimately what you're buying is a feeling,
Yes.
right? And like when we're selling a house, it's so important that someone feels good when they're there.
Yeah.
So I think it's just so invaluable what you do and how you deliver it in a way that's not like woo woo and like weird. When you said you were a feng shui, I was like, you look like this like beautiful, like proper, like English, like, I don't know, princess lady. And then you're like, I want to do feng shui. I'm thinking, what the fuck? I'm like, okay, this is legit. And then, then you're on the news and I'm thinking, okay, you're a bit more level up than what I thought in your, career.
I think it's funny, isn't it? Is that inner person inside that downplays actually what you do.
Well, you're so humble. That's what it was, I think. I didn't realize because you were saying it in a way that was...
Oh, I do a bit of this on the side. I do a bit of this.
Yeah, a little bit of an undercover, boss lady.
And it's amazing because I do get to work with a lot of people, and I do work with a lot of people who are moving into homes where perhaps there've been a string of divorces and relationship breakdowns.
Yeah.
And sometimes that energy can stay within a house. So I come in, we analyse the home, and that analysis basically tells me what's happening energetically in your home. At the minute, without sort of getting too into things, we've just entered what we call a new cycle in Feng Shui, and the cycles last for 20 years.
Wow.
And it started in February, and it's called Cycle 9. And it's a very yang number. So you may have heard the term yin and yang. Yin is dim. That's how I remember that. Dim, low, dark energy. Yang is bright, light, a million miles an hour. And Feng Shui finds that balance between the two, between the yin and the yang. Now, Cycle 9 is all yang. It's a million miles an hour. So quite often what I'm finding at the minute is that since February, life is happening at a million miles an hour. It's very, very quick.
I can feel that as well. I think everyone listening can agree. It feels like the days are shorter and the hours are shorter and everything's so quick.
Yes.
It's so interesting.
And so you've just got to be very aware that that energy is out there. And so what I do is I work with people's homes to create that calm feeling. So I can't stop things happening at a million miles an hour. I can't stop the rubbish stuff that happens in life, the sadness, all of that. But what I can do is create a home that supports you through that. And so this Cycle 9, it's about being really aware of in your home, putting daily practices in to yourself, whatever that is. I'm not going to tell you and sit on the floor and, meditate for an hour every day. I don't do that because I probably should. I say I don't have time. Of course, I've got time to do it. But my meditation is going for a walk, doing Pilates, going getting coffee, listen to some music that you want to listen to, and just take your mind off all of those things, all of that noise, all of that clutter that's happening around you. So this energy is around us at the minute. And then,
sorry to cut you off, but is that going to last 20 years?
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, because the thing is with Feng Shui, I think sometimes the terminology is a little bit tough. It's either good, bad, something bad's going to happen. This is going to happen. Everyone's going to get burnout.
Oh my God.
And everyone's like, oh, I just prefer not to know and just take one day at a time. So I'm really aware with the language that I use that, yes, it may last for a few years, but there's stuff that you can do in your home that helps that.
Okay.
And when we remedy the home, when I come in, you put the elements in place, everything is then fine. So there is an answer to it. And if you go and look around a home, so we moved obviously from the UK, we found our home. It wasn't for sale. We came to look around it 2 years ago. It wasn't for sale. It was just this is the sort of home that you may be interested when you move over. We did a few online auctions. You can imagine how that went at midnight on a Saturday night in England, coming over here. And the auction process isn't even a thing in the UK. So for us to be part of that, it just felt so
foreign to you.
So foreign and so against everything that would ever done. It was almost like a game. It's like you're entering a game show, and whoever wins at the end, you get the property. And I mean, I'm sure there's a more technical way that you explain it. But for us doing it on Zoom, it was very tricky. Anyway, we managed to get our house because the owner wanted to sell, and we did it all, and we moved into this home that we just so happened to look around 2 years ago. And so that's the sort of random stuff that can happen, but in a good way. Feng Shui is this flow of good energy coming in. So what I can do is when people do go and look around these homes is don't worry about, like, if you go and look around a home and people say, oh, I think this is bad Feng Shui, it's fine. We can get around it.
You can change
I
it.
didn't analyse our home before we moved in. I just knew that it had a nice feeling.
Yeah.
And then everything else we can deal with.
Yeah, they're all things that you can change.
Totally.
And like, I think we've talked about that before. People think, oh, they buy something and it's facing this way or facing that way, and then you can't do anything. But you've got all the remedies to help balance that energy and make it feel great, which is, it's so amazing that you do that. And I think, like what we were talking about, so airports do it, like shopping centers do it, and we are at home all the time. Like, why don't we do it?
Yeah.
So I think it's so amazing. And credit to you to following your passion and your dream, you know, something that you didn't even think was your passion or your dream. And then you've just become so like passionate about it.
I had no idea that this was going to be my thing. And,
So
I
cool.
started my business on my 43rd birthday, which is, it was a big deal in a way, because again, I turn up at the school gates and all of a sudden I've turned my Instagram name from Kimberley Gallagher to the Feng Shui Flow. And I was like, well, she's had a hard lockdown. What's happened to her? And so just being that first person to say this and to do it, but when you believe in something so much that you can help people, it's almost like I have to take myself out of it. I'm just the messenger. I'm almost like this, just a translator from ancient practice to modern day. This is what you can do and your home can feel amazing. And that's what I'm so passionate about, that I can help homes feel better. I can help kids be more confident. I can stop the bickering between you and your partner. I can help you find a partner. It's magical, but not in a crazy way.
Yeah. No, well, there's all is it science behind it? Or I guess there's mythology behind it that you bring to life. And like you said, from an ancient practice, you bring it into the modern day. And that's your real power, Kim, is like, who can translate some ancient Chinese thing, make it modern and make people feel comfortable talking about it. Like that's your gift, and sharing that with people is so amazing. I think I kind of want to pivot a little bit with you, because you did a feng shui course, started a business. Now you've been on like multiple like news channels, like your following is massive online. You're like over 100,000 followers now. You just celebrated that. So how did you build this business from starting back there when it was just, sort of an intuitive thing to do to where you are now? Like, what's the key?
It's funny because when I hear somebody else say it, I'm like, wow, haven't they done well?
Who's that person?
Oh my God, it's me. So I think just knowing that, having that full belief in what I was doing and nothing was going to hold me back. Didn't matter what somebody said. If nobody else was doing it, I almost saw it as a bit of a challenge. Now, there's different aspects to my business, and I find myself in a funny conundrum about Instagram, because part of me says it's not about the numbers, it's not about the followers, but for me, they turn into my clients. So it is important to me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the answer is that I turn up every single day. I am there on your phone with a reel, 5 days minimum out of 7 with a new reel with new information for you. I'm on my stories every single day.
Wow.
So it does take commitment to social media. I did a reel the other day. I asked people to comment on it. I had 1,200 comments to reply to. I literally had RSI at the end of the day. And I actually got banned from Instagram for 24 hours for commenting too much, because they thought I was a robot. And people think that I have somebody to do this for me. And I don't, because I want my Instagram to be from me.
It's like
that's
organic,
where it's what people connect me to. So unfortunately with social media, it is about turning up every day. There isn't a magical science. There was one reel that took me from 8,000 followers to 40,000 followers. And it was just about tidying your kitchen work surface.
Okay.
I was in my gym gear, nothing special, nothing staged, but I was just talking about the energy in your kitchen, how if you want your kitchen to be a more peaceful place, get rid of the stuff on the side, because then the good energy can just flow around your kitchen. Very simple, very short. So with Instagram, it's about putting the work in. In terms of my business, I've had 2 people support me all the way through, and it was really scary to invest in people and my business when I didn't necessarily know that. I just had to have faith that my business would grow by investing. So it was investing first
In
before the
yourself.
business had grown.
Far out.
And that's really scary.
Yeah.
Because everything was like £1,000 and which $2,000.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like, well,
I have no
I
money
don't
yet.
have that. I don't.
Yeah.
I've just invested 10,000 American dollars in the course.
Wow.
So 20,000 Aussie dollars in learning to do this. And now I'm putting $2,000 into everything that I'm doing. It's really scary. But I had to put faith in it. So the 2 people that I invested in one was my branding strategist. And she created my website. She created my branding. She created my message, with me putting it obviously in the photos and my offerings, and to keep things very, very simple. And the other person was my digital strategist, who made sure that my offers were very clear, that my sales pages worked, that my audience was ready to purchase. And so behind that are Facebook groups, email campaigns, my podcast, my Instagram messaging. Sometimes I don't even know whether I'm coming or going. My marketing. So when it's your own business, it's thinking about what's coming in 6 months' time. So also putting effort into that. And it's so easy to get involved in the day-to-day processes of, I'm analysing people's homes. I'm running a course, so I'm building the course behind it. But it's having the foresight of saying, okay, in 6 months' time, what do I want to do then? Because you're the one that's in charge of that business coming in. Yeah. So having a team around you that you can trust and that you know will take away what's not in your zone of genius. We were talking about this before we came on. Stay in your creative if that's what you do, because if you get bogged down with trying to make a website work, trying to edit a podcast, trying to think of brand colors or something for social media, you're going to get bogged down with that and not allow actually what you do to shine,
to flourish.
Yeah.
And that's so key, because I think business owners, and I was speaking with another guest about this, right? We try and do all the hats straight away because you think that's going to be the best way, and then you learn how to do all the hats and then you delegate after. But sounds like what you're saying is, like, when you started, you delegated the hats quite quickly, and that's actually served you and your growth of your business, because to get where you've got in 18 months is so incredibly, like,
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. I'm like, wait, again, 18 months? That's crazy. Like, that is so inspiring. And it just goes to show, like, you're really clear on what you want and your outcome and your belief. But then you've got the habits stacking every day.
Yeah.
This great, like, support group around you. That's been key to your success. So you're saying, like, get a great team around you of people that can do the stuff you don't want to do.
Yes. Yes.
And then make sure that you're kind of aligned with the belief of what you're doing.
Yes. Know where you're going and don't hold back on that. I was looking at my intentions for this year. In Feng Shui, we work a lot with visual affirmations. I'm not good at writing them down. I have to see it. So my intentions for this year, I want a Times bestseller book, and I also want a Netflix series.
What?
Which,
Yay.
when I say it out loud, like, I just think, who am I even to say that? But why not? So if you have that belief, it means now that I'm making those inquiries, I'm sending those emails, I'm habit stacking, like you say, to get to that point. And the more that I say it out there, because you never know who's listening, the world is a small space now. And so if you have a podcast on the side of what you do, and you put your intentions out there as to who you want to work with, where you want to go, what collaborations you want to do, who you want to partner with, you just never know who's listening. And that's what's happened to me. The right people have all just so happened to know somebody to point me in that direction.
It's like every door opens for you because you're like aligned with the way you want to go.
Yeah.
And we talk about that as well. Like when we were chatting, I think you said be very clear with like your audience. Like who do you want to work with? Who do you want to sell homes for? Like what area do you want to sell in? And I think that gives me so much clarity with my branding and my vision, because people don't talk to you like that. People say, oh, do all the hard work, like work hard. I'm like, I don't think I could work any harder. Like I'll die. Like but it's actually intention. Like shift your focus. Like what are you focusing on and what do you believe in? And all that good stuff starts coming back to you. And that clearly, like you are the best walking proof of what you say. I'm like, I think everyone's going to try and book with you after this, because I try every month and you sell out the first day.
I open my availability for 1 day a month, and that's me done for the whole month, which is crazy. It's so crazy. And I say it, and I do have to pinch myself that that's how lucky I am that happens in my business. And I think if you have a vision, be dead set in that vision, be really, really clear as to what you want to go and achieve. And I think as women, we sometimes shy away from talking about money as well. Be super clear at how much money you want to go and earn. Yeah. And don't be shy from it. I want to be the breadwinner. I want to be the one that allows us to buy a home from you for $10 million. Yeah. I want to do that, and I want to earn that money. My husband has worked hard enough to get us here. And now, since we've moved here, he does the school runs, because I've either got podcasts to come and do or meetings. And, don't get me wrong, I work hard. Like the downside is with all of these channels of media is that, and I bet you find this, people can reach you at any time of day. Yes. They can WhatsApp you, they can message you, they can Facebook message you, they can Instagram you, they can do all of these things, they can email you, they can do all of these things. So I do work hard and I work long hours, but that's because I know where I want to get to. And having people and the team behind me to help me do the stuff it's going to take me 10 hours to edit my website, but I can send somebody a voice note now and say, can you just do this for me? Because I can't, and it's not my zone of genius. Can you please go and do it for me? So I've gone off on a massive tangent. I can't remember.
Is this that ADD chat that we just for context for people listening, there's this meme that we sent each other. About ADD brain.
I just looked at my watch, and actually I'm quite proud that it's taken us 26 minutes to forget the question.
Okay, that's good.
Sorry, but what I'm saying is, I think it takes hard work. Don't shy away from where you want to get to, and be dead clear on the amount of money that you want to earn as well. And then work backwards from that. Because if you go, right, I want to go and buy a $10 million house. Okay, well, how are you going to get there?
Yeah. What's your plan?
Yeah. And then just keep working towards that. And other doors may open and you get tempted to stray away. And you think, oh, I might go down that route. I might go down, for me, it's super yacht feng shui. That was a door that opened for me earlier in the year. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. I want to go to Saint-Tropez and go and stand on a yacht and feng shui it, which may be a thing. Yeah. But for this year, maybe not.
Yeah, you're clear with your vision. So, and I was going to ask you too, because like it sounds like a bit like a fairy tale, right? All this stuff, it's worked out so perfectly and everything's aligned, and like, but have you had any challenges?
There's been the whole moving from the UK here was challenging in itself.
And you had the business already when you did that move?
Yes. Okay. So I started the business knowing that I was coming over to Australia. So I went hell for leather for 6 months before we moved. I started in the November, we moved in the June. So I did all that I could. But within the first 2 months, I was on this morning being their feng shui expert, talking about Chinese New Year. Again, and I just say it because I want you to know that it can happen.
Yeah.
With belief, with my home feng shui and my intentions that this is what I wanted for my business, it's happened. And there has been challenges, but none that none to write home about. It has been a fairy tale.
Yeah.
And I'm really lucky that that has happened. And I'm sure there's going to be challenges along the way. There's been internal challenges. There's been the challenge in terms of I'm working and, you know, I have a daughter and she needs picking up from school and all of this stuff. So we've had that role reversal. That's been a challenge.
Yeah.
But in terms of things coming crashing down, it hasn't. And the right people have come into my life at the right time that has just helped this process go so smoothly.
Wow.
And I'm really lucky for that. I'm very grateful.
Lucky. But it's how you frame everything, right? Every time you speak, you say, I'm lucky. You say, I'm grateful. Like, oh, good things happen to me. Like, everything works out. Like, everything you're like reaffirming to yourself creates this reality for you because that's what you believe. You're just like, oh, everything works out, you know?
Yes.
And that's how
Yeah.
everything's become so good for you.
And I think as well, there's a trust in your gut instinct.
Have you ever had that like imposter syndrome feeling or
Hell yes.
okay, cool. Because that's when I say challenges physically and like obviously in the like form of something material, but internally, like for you to achieve this, there must have been this like resistance inside.
There's been one hell of a self-development journey going on.
Yeah,
A huge
okay.
one. Because who am I at 43 to all of a sudden turn around and start doing reels on Instagram when it's full of 20-year-olds doing wicked dances? And I'm like, hi, if you open your front door, the good energy
I like your toilet one too. Put your toilet seat down. I'm
Toilet
like,
seat,
at
yeah.
my open homes, it's like pet hate, toilet seat. I'm like, come on, guys, let's just shut the toilet.
Yeah. So for me, you know, I have a thing that what I look like, it sounds silly when you say it out loud, but you know, your good side and your bad side. I didn't realize that my face was so unsymmetrical until I started posting things on Instagram that my teeth were really wonky at the bottom. So I'm doing Invisalign at the minute. You know, my hair is not great. You know, all of these things that you're told or that you tell yourself internally, I say a lot. All of these things. And I have to check myself every time I speak. If I'm going to say I just pinch my finger and my thumb together.
I'm gonna watch you now.
And it stops me. It stops me doing it. Just like that. Take a deep breath because I'm going to say Going on national TV was the most petrifying thing I have ever done in my life.
Oh my God, you look like a natural on there.
It is I want to say an act. It's stepping in. So I remember when I was on this morning and I sat on the sofa. Well, I didn't sit on the sofa to start off with. I was in the green room and I got taken upstairs and I was told to stand on these two like footprint marks because the camera was going to come to me and I just had to stand there and smile. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness. And I had these high heels on and my legs were shaking so much that you could see my trousers like wobbling on the outside because my legs were shaking so much. I then went through the stage of having no spit whatsoever.
The
Literally.
what's it called?
I don't
Chalky
know.
mouth. Or
Yeah,
something.
and I thought my microphone is here. The noise that my mouth is going to make is grossing me out, let alone the listeners at home. So I asked for a glass of water, but then my hand was shaking so much that I couldn't drink the water and I had to put my hand like to the glass. And so I sat down on the sofa and I could see just all of these cameras around me. And I thought, oh my gosh, right. And I saw and I just had that thing of going, get a hold of yourself. If you want to get to where you want to go, you have to be okay with this.
Whoa, that is such a powerful self-conversation.
Yeah. And I was like, right, off we go. And I just took a deep breath, have confidence in what you know. You are the expert. If you say, I am the expert, and even we shy away from that language, I am the expert. Do you know what? You don't have to be the world expert, but you're the expert in the room. You are the expert in property in this room. I am the expert in feng shui. Your podcast people, they're the expert in podcasts.
Yeah.
You are the expert. And if you make a slight mistake, it's fine.
Yeah.
You're human. So then the next time that I went on, I wore what I call queen shoes, where the heel, it was about like 3 inches by 3 inches so that my legs didn't shake. I took a mint with me and had a mint before I went on live so that I didn't get a dry mouth. And then I eased into it. So it doesn't come naturally. I've had no media training whatsoever. But I listen and I watch and I take note of what I like and I listen to podcasts. I watch the TV. How do people work? How do people sit? How do people move? And it's about having that internal chat that I can do this. And I did something on my podcast yesterday. Again, it's a little thing with your hand. You go, I can do this with your finger and your index finger. So you put your thumb and your index finger together and you say, I, your thumb and your middle finger can, your thumb and your ring finger do, and your thumb and your little finger this. I can do this. And so when you're in a situation and you really need that confidence boost, you don't need to say it out loud, but just your fingers in your head, I can do this. Go. And you can go and do it.
Oh my God, I have goosebumps. You are the best human. Like I just want to sit here all day with you. That's
Thank
it.
you.
It's so amazing. And that's why you've become so successful at what you do. And you have this like mindset of service. Like all you do is you want to like help and share. Like you've helped me so much. Like you don't even realize that's just your personality type. You know, you just give to people, and I love that. I think just on that giving to people, I want to give the listeners just maybe 2 things that they could do. Okay, let's be honest. Like we were saying about the taboo, let's talk about money. First, let's talk about money, like cash. How can we get some cash flowing in the bank account?
Yeah.
Do we have to get metal, a happy cat, or what are we what are we doing?
That is going to live with me forever, that movement. You can't see that at home. Yeah. I'm sure we will get a reel of that. So the cash comes from the southeast of your home. So feng shui is about getting to know your home and the directions of your home.
Okay.
So you can look at your floor plan if you've got one, or you can simply just stand in the center of your home. Every phone has a compass on it. Not many people know that, but if you search for the compass, it's on there. And if you just pivot around in a circle, find the southeast and walk as far as you can in that direction, that looks after your wealth, prosperity, and abundance. So the first thing that you need to do is get rid of the clutter in that area. You want the good energy to flow. Feng Shui is about getting rid of the negative energy and bringing in the good energy. The more good energy that circulates around your home in all of these amazing pockets, the more good stuff that is going to happen in this area. So the southeast, even if you've got a cupboard that you throw stuff in there, sort it out. I'm
thinking about my southeast corner and I'm freaking out. I need to leave. I got to go. I got to go right now and clean it up.
I need to sort out, but do it with intention. So you need that intention behind it. This is the southeast area of my home. I'm getting rid of the clutter, but also just pop a visual affirmation in there. So my visual affirmation for wealth is going on holiday with my family, time and travel. Yeah. That for me is amazing. So in the southeast area of my home, there's no little trinkets, but there's pictures of us in some of the most amazing holidays that we have been on. And that is what I'm working towards, to do that more often. So that is your cash zone in your house.
I love that. Cash zone, everyone. Cash zone number 1, southeast corner.
Southeast, yes.
Clear that bad boy out. Let's go.
Shall we go to the love zone? Do you want the love zone?
Let's do love.
So the love, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're single, this sits in the southwest of your home.
Okay.
But it's also sort of paired up with your bedroom as well. So you get a double whammy with the love and romance. And again, declutter, let the good energy flow. What you don't want to have in your bedroom or in the southwest are pictures of single people or single items, or pictures of you and your girlfriends, because that's what you're going to attract more of. So if you want to meet a partner, it's about having those visual pictures, those visual affirmations of 2 people together. Whatever a relationship looks like to you, then that's what you have. It might be a couple walking along a beach. It may be a couple with a dog, whatever it is.
Does it have to be people? Or can it be like 2 plants together?
It could be 2 plants. The best thing would be, if you don't want people people aren't your thing, then you can have.
I'm just thinking it might be a bit weird, like some people walking down the beach.
No,
you
but
know,
like a painting of two people walking
Yeah,
down
okay.
a beach, then that would work. Or, for example, peonies. Peonies are the flower of love, so pictures of peonies would work.
okay, yes.
Or
yes.
animals that have partners for life. So like
Okay.
swans or ducks. That might be a bit random, but two swans that like together would also
Swans are
work.
nice, yeah.
Or two hearts together. Quite often we buy little ornaments that is one heart. We
Yeah.
don't want one, we want two.
Okay.
And then in the bedroom, again, we want things in pairs. So bedside tables, we want two. We want two lamps. We want them matching either side, which I'm sure sort of shines to your real estate background.
I'm like,
it
I
needs
love
to be
that.
matching.
Yes.
The other thing is, if you have a chair in your bedroom, ideally you'd want two, so that there's room for that partner.
The partner. Wow. That is amazing. And so this has been so valuable to me, and I hope everyone else has found the same. So I just think, like, how can people find more of you?
Thank you. Well, if you want me to see you pop up on your feed every day, I'm the Feng Shui Flow on Instagram. TikTok isn't really my thing. I feel I'm a bit too old for that.
No.
Or the fengshuiflow.com is my website, and that's where you can find me. And forgot about my podcast, the Feng Shui Flow on Spotify and Apple as
Yay.
well.
Love that podcast too. It's a really
Thank
good
you.
listen.
Thank you so much for having
Thanks,
me.
Kim. You're welcome.
Thank you.